You are watching Crime Time, and this is an episode of This Is My Courtroom, featuring the Honorable Judge Stephanie Boyd.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 6673, State of Texas versus Jaime Pena. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jerry Kagan on behalf of Mr. Pena.
Are you Mr. Pena?
Yes.
Defense, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court would find that the state is in compliance with discovery. All right, just 1 second. There is an application for probation, correct?
Yes, Judge.
To the clerks, do y'all have his application? All right, did you understand the application for community supervision? Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm showing you what's entitled. Oh, where is it? Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We'll waive it.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of injury to a child, intentionally or knowingly bodily injury as a third-degree felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He most certainly has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes to both.
Mr. Pena, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. State recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. No contact with Charles Tompkins and Wendy Kennedy. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Right. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Judge, 5 years probated for a period of 3 years.
No, the 3 years length is not a part of your plea bargain agreement. That's just a recommendation. So with regards to what I just read, counsel, did you understand that to be the plea?
I guess I'm going to have to go back and renegotiate that with the prosecutor.
All right, well, I can tell you all this. You all cannot agree to the length of time he receives for probation. That's in my purview. So you all cannot agree to how long he's going to be on probation.
Well,
So if you all want to...
given different information by the other person. So
No, I mean, it says
we have some straightening out to do.
Yeah, no, it says it clearly in the line. It says, no, the parties are not allowed to make binding agreements regarding the length of community supervision or the terms and condition of community supervision, which are totally dependent upon the court's discretion. So that's why it's below the line. But if you all want to talk about it, you can.
Let's do that.
All right.
A few sips of water, and a little later.
All right, are we doing this plea or no, Mr. Kagan?
Yeah, prosecutor.
Thank you. All right, we're back on the record in 2021 CR 6673. All right, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years. The state recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. no contact with Charles Tompkins and Wendy Kennedy. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
It is, Judge.
State?
Yes.
Showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
And did you sign it?
yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be the BIPP course and parenting classes. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state? And the court does not have to follow those recommendations.
Yes.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Yes.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, we have the state's exhibit number 1 and all attachments.
I've reviewed those documents with my client. We have no objections.
Showing you what's entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court is going to find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We could, Judge.
Why did you do this?
I did not do it, but
Oh, you want a jury trial?
no, I mean,
Because it's saying
far as
he
I'm
has bruises
concerned,
on his body.
um,
It's saying he has bruises on his body.
yes, ma'am. I understand that. That's what I was told. But he didn't have bruises when he left my house. But taking it because I just do not want to be in Barrett County anymore because apparently toilet paper is contraband.
Yeah, but I'm talking about you hitting your stepson.
I
Did
did
you
not
hit your biological? Have you ever hit your biological son with a belt?
believe in capital punishment.
Well, no, this is not capital punishment. It's corporal punishment.
Spanking or corporal punishment at all. But
So you're saying he's making up the fact that you hit him. The officers are making up the fact that he had bruises on his back and his thighs. And he's making up the fact that you then made him copy a dictionary,
Yes,
3 pages of
that
a
I did.
dictionary.
Yes, ma'am. He did copy dictionary.
All right. Anything else from either side?
Nothing further, Judge.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There is going to be an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Wendy Kennedy and Charles, the BIPP program, CPS compliance, if applicable, parenting classes with Triple P, 100 hours of community service restitution, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. No unsupervised contact with minors until completion of parenting classes. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs, field visits, one time every 3 months. I want it random until further notice. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, sir.
Anything else you need from the court?
Oh, what do I have to say parenting classes if all my children are grown?
My understanding is that you have a stepson and then you're with, according to this report, you're with someone else who has children. That's what this police report says. So you're saying you don't have any underage children?
No, ma'am.
And the child in this case is not underage?
Well, yes. But I'm
Okay,
not
then
with
you need
her.
parenting classes because there are plenty of women out there who will see you as a great catch and allow you around their children.
Okay, I understand.
All right. And 120 days in the Bexar County Jail as a condition. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. And also because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
And judge, on that 120 days credit for time served.
No.
Your Honor, the mother of the victim in this case provided us with a statement. She
All right.
direct.
Very good.
The violence that took place against Charles changed our lives forever. I admit you were a father figure to him. He was father's best friend, and on that day you stole so much from him. It took a year for him to not have a nightmare every night, 4 months to physically heal from the bruises, and he still has not recovered from it mentally. You said you loved him and that you would protect him no matter what, and instead, the rage and abuse bestowed on him shows that you are the person he should have been protected from. Charles looked up to you and loved you since you were around so much after his father, your best friend, passed away in 2016. He barely has memories of his father, and it breaks my heart that all the good memories he has from you are now destroyed by your abusive behavior that day. Not to mention how you traumatized Archer, who was only 3 at the time. He still remembers and talks about it. It also took almost a year for him to stop having nightmares, waking up screaming and crying, and checking on his brother to make sure he was okay. Your actions tore your family apart, and you need to accept and take responsibility. Even though you know you did this, right after you harassed me, spammed my cell phone number out on the web so that people would call me and text me for sex and try to justify all your actions. You need help, and I pray that you will get help. The torture you bestowed on us, no human should ever have to live with and go through. I will keep you in my prayers that you will accept and admit everything that you did and not make excuses so that you can heal from this and move on with your life.
Next up, we got a mom who has some serious explaining to do.
All right, who is here on Veronica Alvarez? Probation, this is an application.
Thanks, recommendation of the third Honor.
Okay. All right, and you're client's in the middle and you're in the second. Yes.
Thank you.
Court is calling 2022 CR 9445, State of Texas versus Veronica Alvarez. Do I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Deputy Cruz, on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
Karen Gordon, defending.
And are you Veronica Alvarez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna need you to make sure that you speak up so that the court reporter can hear. Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Alvarez, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Ms. Alvarez, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a $1,000 fine, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea? Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years, that there be a TAP evaluation, and 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
State, any evidence to support the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, state introduces the state's exhibit number 1 and all of its attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you understand, again, that you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yeah.
Sorry? You need to speak up. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
I would like to, Your Honor. Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Says that you followed the plea bargain. My client really didn't have a record, and I do believe this is a good candidate for our probation.
All right, do you have any children?
Yes.
How many?
4,
What are their ages?
6, 8, 11, and 15.
How old are you?
35.
Where are your children?
My mom,
Child Protective Services involved?
my case already been closed.
Were your rights terminated? So what ended up happening?
Before I came in here, my mom had she told me, well, I talked to her this past week, and she said the case was closed, but I'm ready to even ask her about the case. I'm gonna ask
So you didn't think to ask her about your rights to your children?
the phone cut off. So we were talking about the kids and everything.
All right, how often are you using meth? How often are you using meth?
I was there daily.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, I was there daily.
I don't understand what she's saying.
What were you using for drugs? That's what she's asking you. You did the two when you out there.
How do you use meth daily? Do you use it every other day? Do you use it weekly? How often are you using drugs?
I was using it daily.
Do you have employment? Did you have employment while you were in the free world?
No.
When's the last time you had employment?
It's been a couple of years.
So how are you supporting your children?
Well, for my kids, I get the child support for them. And if I did work, it was temp services.
So you were using your children's child support to support you and your children.
When you ask how would I support my kids, that's
Kid or baby goats.
I would do. And then I had a boyfriend to play before I.
And this boyfriend you had, is he the father of these children?
No, the last one, yes.
And who is Orlin Archaga, who you're in the car with? Who is that?
My friend. He's a friend.
What does that mean? He's a friend. Is a boyfriend?
No.
Were you intimate with him?
No.
So how did you come to be in the car with him?
Because he was taking me to go get a new tea for the kids.
So you're riding around in a car with somebody with a crack pipe or a pipe used for meth to go get food for your children?
Well, he was in my ride to go and take me back home. That was it.
Does your mother not have a vehicle?
Well, mom lives far from me. Where I live at, she lives far.
So where were your children when you went to go on this ride to get something for them?
At our apartment?
By themselves?
No.
Well, who was with them?
My dad.
All right, I have this story that she's telling me. I find it all suspect. But this is what we're going to do. I'm going to send it to you because I'm sure CPS is, I don't know if CPS is doing their job or not, so I'm going to have to do it. What is your mother's name? All right, the court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's going to be a TAP evaluation while in custody. And if the TAP recommends inpatient treatment, she's going to inpatient treatment. So it's following all recommendations of TAP. I'm going to run a referral to felony drug court. There's to be no contact, no in-person contact with minors until further notice, and that includes her children. Counsel, once she's completed drug treatment, then the court will always reconsider. I'm going to want the UA hotline upon release, weekly testing. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month upon release until further notice. And please tell them to look and make sure that there are no minors there. There's to be no contact with Orlin, O-R-L-E-N, Sandick, S-A-N-D-I-C-K, Gutierrez, Archaga, A-R-C-H-A-G-A. There's to be 120 hours community service restitution. I'm going to ask for intensive parenting classes. And once that's completed, the community service hours will be satisfied. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's $57 restitution to Bexar County Lab for testing. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Probation, if you want to count the field visits as her reporting, you can. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. You're going to have to start being a better parent to your children. Thank you.
Well, folks, that does it for today's episode of This Is My Courtroom. And I want to give a shout out to all of you parents out there who aren't driving around buying meth. Way to go!